In today's video, we're going to show you just how sweet Florida's history can be. Stay tuned and check it out. Welcome back to Oh What a Sight, and I'm Amanda, and today we're at Hamilton-Disston Sugar Plantation. A lot of you may be going, where's that? Well, it's in St. Cloud, just a little outside of Kissimmee, and we're here to talk about the history of the Hamilton-Disston Sugar Plantation today. So who was Hamilton-Disston? Hamilton-Disston's origins originated from Pennsylvania, where his family were more known for saw manufacturing. Now, Disston, he was first drawn to Florida back in 1870s. He actually was drawn to here because of the lakes and the rivers, and he was a big fisherman. And he would come here on fishing trips in search of the Lunder black bass that was prominently populating the area at that time. Little did he know how much he would change Florida. Now, in 1881, Florida was still reconstructing their economy after the Civil War, and our governor, William D. Bloxham, was looking for a way to help dissipate their more than $1 million that they had accrued in debt. So at that time, he found Hamilton-Disston, someone that would maybe rescue them and help them with this somewhat embarrassing problem they'd gotten themselves into. So just 3 months after Bloxham was inaugurated, Disston would actually sign with the Internal Improvement Fund trustees, and that actually would open up the area for settlement and development. So on January 31st of 1881, the fund would decide to enter into an agreement with Disston and his other associates. He brought others from Pennsylvania, Arizona, and he had some in Florida as well. The contract was approved in March of 1881 that Disston and his associates would be responsible to drain the overflowed land south of Township 24. That was a mere 3 miles from where Kissimmee sits now, just a little east of Peace Creek. Now, for doing this, the group would actually receive alternating sections of this land. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and they weren't able to do this because the fund's creditors actually demanded that their debts be settled by selling the land. And we're going to actually take this issue to the courts to see that it was satisfied. So at that time, Bloxham persuaded Disston instead to purchase the 4 million acres of Florida land for just $1 million and rescue the area. It is said that this was the most land ever purchased by a single person in the history of the world at that time. Now, in 1882, they started in the north and drained the swamplands and started cultivating sugarcane. In 1883, near a settlement called Southport, about 20 acres of sugarcane were planted in the muck of the drained land. And despite having a less than optimal few seasons of weather, the cane grew very well, and it actually matured in just 11 months. Not only did they grow successfully, they didn't need to do more than clear the land and lay the seed for the most part. And so it cost them just a little under $100 an acre. Now, it was documented this successful experiment of Disston's on average yielded 16,000 stalks per acre, and that meant around 700 gallons of syrup could be produced. And of course, that could sell in Kissimmee at that time for about 40 cents a gallon. It even took first prize in yield and quality at the Cotton Centennial Exposition in New Orleans between 1884 and 1885. And they were up against other sugarcane that had been grown domestically and all around the world, so that's pretty miraculous. Now, at that time, Disston spread his operation toward Lake Topicolaga's eastern cove. His efforts to drain the Everglades are what set off the state's first land boom, allowing cities and towns to be developed in the area. Now, some of the towns created by this are Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Gulfport, Tarpon Springs, and even assisted in some growth in St. Petersburg, Florida as well. And in addition to sugarcane, he also even cultivated rice in the Kissimmee area as well. Now, in later years, he found some failure in lowering the waters and draining the areas around Lake Okeechobee and the other areas of the Everglades. This forced Diston to sell much of his land and investments at a fraction of what he originally had paid for them. However, it is said that Diston's land purchases built up the economy in Florida and made way for train magnates Henry Flagler and Henry Plant to lay their rails along our eastern coast, in addition to running another one on our west coast. As many of you know, this is what led to our domination of the tourist and citrus industries here in Florida. So despite failing to finish his canal plans for Lake Okeechobee and the Everglades, we can all agree that he can be credited for reclaiming large portions of land and helping to develop and improve drainage for much of Florida. Now, after some shortcomings, Diston returned to Pennsylvania, where his luck fell short again after the financial panic of 1863, the Wilson-Gorman Tariff Act of 1894, and dealing with some pretty detrimental freezes led him to even more financial hardships. So he actually ended up mortgaging his Florida assets for $2 million. On May 1st, 1896, Hamilton Diston was found dead in his bed, and the coroner said he had died of a heart disease. But there is some that believed that he might have committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. Regardless to which you choose to believe, it is an unfortunate end to a man that changed Florida forever. So you can find the historical marker at the far end of Marina Lakeshore Park in St. Cloud, Florida. It now stands as a beautiful park where people come to walk their dogs, jog, or even just enjoy the view. So if you want to see where some of our history began here in Central Florida, you should definitely take a drive and spend some time in the footsteps of those that came before us. Now, I know that many of you are probably thinking that it would have been nice to keep our natural beauty here, and sugar definitely did play a part in pollution and causing some bad things, but in this particular time period, it really is what led to us being able to develop this area. And so in that respect, we do have to say that there is a little leeway there. It wasn't the best of times, I'm sure, but I'm sure that this is what they had to do in order to live. So this is just a little history for you. Alright guys, well, we hope that you're enjoying our Oh What a Sight series, and of course, as long as you guys are enjoying it, we're going to keep doing it. So let us know in the comments down below, and please take a moment to give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure that you subscribe. You certainly don't want to miss where we're going to head to next. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to enjoy our videos. We do have some other series as well, so make sure you check them all out. And other than that, we just want to thank you wholeheartedly for coming along with us on this great journey. And I'll tell you, it's a great adventure to get out there and explore a little bit about your area. So that's what we've been doing, and so we're really learning a lot too. And other than that, guys, we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with all your friends.
And hit that bell so you know when we have a new video.